When I think about building a brand online, I think about flashy things. I think about, people feeling like you have to tell people everything about yourself, show your food, show your kids, all the things. But I also think about your colors, your, content pillars, who your target audience is, and then your messaging and all the things that you offer and your people and all that type of stuff. And when I think about the rebrand process, if I'm honest, it makes me nauseous. It makes me go, oh my God, who in their right mind would put themselves through a rebrand? But the truth is that things change, the markets change, we change. I know me personally, I'm 41 years old. And when I first started into entrepreneurship, it was back in 2002. And so over the course of 20 years, I've changed a lot. And so we are now at a point in our business where I'm asking myself, is it time to rebrand? I used to have a brand design business. It was called If You Brand It. And our tagline was, if you brand it, they will come. Because I truly believe that if you build a successful brand online and you began marketing to your right people, then the right people were going to come. And at some point in time are ready and wanting to do business with you. And so we started that business back in 2016 and we built that and we served hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, through consulting services, through web design, logos, and all the different things. And then when the pandemic hit and I heard God invite me to get onto the TikTok platform and I put down that agency, we skyrocketed. There were all these different opportunities that we have always desired and wanted, and they didn't come to be until I started teaching TikTok marketing. What that meant was that we found ourselves in a place where the website looked like I was a branding person. It still really looks like I'm a branding person because we haven't quite been able to take the time away to rebrand and rewrite all the things and the offers and all that stuff on those pages. I just really haven't had that time because we have been so busy. And I'm really glad that I hadn't, because right now I'm in a process of just kind of thinking about some things. Right now, our main focus is teaching female coaches and course creators how to use the TikTok platform so that they can generate leads and make more money in their businesses. I am also a minister. So I'm also someone when I was doing one-on-one consulting, that people would get on my calls and they would, be dealing with things that had nothing to do with their business. And the minister side of me could feel it, could sense it. And I could hear God telling me, hey, this person is actually dealing with this, this, and this. And here's an opportunity where you can pause the call and ask them, are they dealing with this and how can you help them? And so I used to find myself on calls and that would happen over and over and over again. So then I offered a service, which was called creative consulting, which allowed people to be able to book a call with me. And we would really go over the things that God would stop the calls for, and we would deal with that. And then I would help them with their businesses. And so over the last 2 years, I found myself not really doing those, not really speaking in the area of ministry and things like that. Not because I didn't want to, but because I was so inundated with everything that was happening in my business, but God is so kind. And he's been reminding me of hey, don't forget this other aspect of yourself. This is the more important part than it is building your business. Although I'm going to bring in the increase, you still need to be focusing on this. And so because of that, it makes me excited. It makes me very excited to be making sure that I'm taking care of the whole person, that when someone comes to me and not just their income, and reminding me that I have the ability to do that. But what that has done for me is that's caused me to ask myself, is it time to rebrand? And so I want you to ask yourself a question, when you first started your business, whenever you started it, are you the same person? Are you in the same place? Are you thinking the same way? Are you offering the same things? Are you serving the same group of people? If the answer is no, then you're probably in a space where I am, where I'm asking myself, is it time to rebrand? And what does that look like if I choose to rebrand? One of the things that I am doing and have been doing is I have this sheet of paper and I have just really been plotting out, me. So it's when I think about it, it's when you're in high school or middle school and you do one of those webs where you put your name in the middle and a circle and then you put lines out to the side. And so what I've kind of been doing is, asking myself if I need to rebrand, just really thinking through me. And so I put my name in the middle, and then I put, ministry, spiritual stuff, business, TikTok marketing, inspiration, encouragement. I just put like a couple different things, the things that I do on a regular basis online, and to the people that I have been doing it to. Then I started asking myself, well, who am I currently serving? And it's female coaches and course creators. And then I asked myself, okay, so when we're talking about ministry, is it female coaches and course creators? Is it Christian women? Is it like, what is all that, And honestly, I don't have the answer to all of that at this very moment, but this is why we're having this conversation here together, because we are identifying it all together, right? I had a conversation with one of my business coaches this morning, and I was just like, just bouncing it off, the idea or the thoughts off of her, and then my other business coach. And I was just sharing with them where I am, what I'm thinking. And one of them was like, well, I think we need to talk about this more in detail, because I see where you're trying to go. I see what you're thinking, but we got to think it out even more. And then the other person said, well, I don't think that you're too far off from doing the ministry side of you, because I think you do it already anyway. And immediately when she said that, I thought about, okay, she sees a lot of what I post on my personal Facebook page. And a lot of times I'm talking about God just did this, God just did that, God told me this, and then this happened, yada, yada, yada. But I have not been doing that on YouTube. I haven't been doing that on TikTok or Instagram. It's that literally has just been happening on my personal Facebook page. And it's not because I don't want anybody to find it, because my personal page is public. Anybody can go to my personal Facebook page and see all the things, unless you're on my block list. So I don't hide any of that stuff on my personal Facebook page. It just hasn't done like a collision, like a bringing it together. Like, it's just the two worlds haven't like met in a way that was in my mind seemingly appropriate. But that doesn't mean that that's true. That just means that is how I have been feeling and how I have been doing things. And so I have been having this thought of like, okay, instead of me going into this whole process of a brand new photo shoot, writing everything new on my website and doing all this stuff, why don't I just start testing things? And I'm telling you what I'm thinking and doing so you can do it too. And what that means is that, why don't I make a TikTok video? Why don't I make an Instagram reel that is encouraging people like spiritually, but the business aspect of me? It could be like where I'm saying, God wants to help you make more money in your business, and then tell them, here's the ways that he has helped me make more money in my business, which is a great idea for a video. So I'm like, oh, that got that from God. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot that one as soon as we finish recording. And that way is starting the process of like seeing how is my audience responding to it? Two, how do I feel creating that piece of content, and then doing it again and determining like, here's how I can incorporate 1, 2, 3 in the midst of A, B, and C. Then I'll determine, is it time for a rebrand? Do I have to do an entirely major rebrand, or is it just an update? My initial thinking is, I think it's more of an update. I think that my website is beautiful, but I think that I've got to make some changes, like the opening video. My offers need to be there. It has to be more of a conversation around marketing and business and faith-based business. I think I have to do more of a inclusion of that, like not just a little bit inclusion, but like an infusion where it's like they collide together and it. This girl loves Jesus. She's faith-based, but she's not some weird old person who's going to say, you going to hell because you are ABC. We just don't do that around these parts. I got my own stuff. Okay. And so I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to encourage you. If you ask me, is this sin in the Bible? I'm going to say, yes, that sin is in the Bible. And so is this one. And all of us need Jesus. That's what I'm going to say. So whatever you got going on there, you got to talk to Jesus. You got to surrender that to him. That's how I kind of am. I'm not going to say, no, it's okay. I'm going to say, no, that's in the Bible as a sin. This is in the Bible as a sin. And so is this. And let's all together hold each other accountable. That's kind of how I am as a Christian minister and all that type type of stuff. I want you to ask yourself the question, is it time for you to rebrand? If you don't know that question, that answer, then one of the things I want you to do is I want you to go out on probably Facebook, and I want you to tell people, I want you to say, what are the top 3 things you feel like I offer people, and see what they say. If the overwhelming majority say something that is not what you want them to say, then your brand is not conveying the right message. So if I post that thing today, I am going to hear TikTok. That's going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be Jesus. And then number 3, it may say encouragement or inspiration. I think that's what I'm going to hear a lot on Facebook. If I ask that question on TikTok, they are going to say TikTok, and that's all they're going to say. If I post on Instagram, they're going to say TikTok and business because of how I've done myself. And so I think on Facebook, I've done a great job with all of it. And on the others, I think that I have not done so great with it. But that tells me an answer. Like even now, as I'm saying this, I'm like, I'm killing it in all the regards on Facebook, but I'm not doing that on Instagram and on TikTok, but I should be. So ask yourself that question, get the answers, and then I want you to take a look at that. And then I want you to determine, okay, do you need to do an entire rebrand, or do you just need to do an update? And that doesn't mean you have to go and do all of it right now. That doesn't mean you have to take 9 months or whatever and pay $20,000 for a rebrand. I'm not saying you got to do that, but I am saying is that if you're seeing that and you're like, oh, I got to make some changes, then I want you to come up with a plan or what all has to be done. Like right now, I'm thinking to myself, and then what can be done over a week, a month, or however much time, how much time do I actually need to update the brand or what have you, so that it can be what I want it to be. I want you to do that. And then I'm going to come back, in a couple episodes or what have you, and I'll give you an update on what we're doing as it pertains to a rebrand. I will keep you updated. I want you to keep me updated about your rebrand. So if whatever your answer is to my questions and you're watching on YouTube, comment, and tell me. That way we can engage together and say, I'm working on my rebrand with Keenya Kelly, and tag me. Okay.